Okay, so we finished off with the binder suggestion. Basically, the letter size binder, the inexpensive binder, and inexpensive cover sheets are going to not working well for us for A4 size sheet. A4 size sheet is slightly narrower than letter and longer. So if you put your lettering sheet into this protector, it's going to be sticking out. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to take our A4 size sheet, and I suggest you simply slide a letter page, any print page, maybe the handout, underneath, and make a mark here where you're going to simply cut it off. So this is important to those of you who want to think forward. I'm not going to be measuring. If it's sticking out when you hand it in, it's not a problem for me. But I'm just trying to help you to have that portfolio sheet for the future. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take A4 size sheet. So what I'm going to draw first is a sheet. And if you look at the handout, there is a small title block on that sheet. It doesn't have to be 50. If on A4 size sheet we use a 50 millimeter title block, we're not going to have much space left. So for any assignments in college, when you're asked to do some kind of title block, you should make it smaller, so about an inch. So what we're going to do here is design a nice layout so it fits nicely in the binder in the future. If you're going to put it in a sleeve protector, you're not going to be coiling it with other sheets. Then I would suggest you make your offsets about 10 millimeters and do a nice border all the way around. So these are our margins, nice dark line. Then at the bottom, throw in about an inch title block space. And just kind of copy what I gave you there, a smaller version of our title block. The most important thing will be, of course, your name. The next, ladies and gentlemen, is preparing for what our objective is. Objective is to have our printed page, which is page 21, nicely laid out on this A4 size sheet. So let's make sure everybody knows we're going to start with A4. Before we even get there, I hear through the grapevine that there's no A2 size sheets. This has been going on for 2 weeks now. I cannot be ordering paper for the bookstore. I mean, there's limitations to what I can do for you. But I can show you the roundabout. I did show you how to divide one A1 size sheet into two A2s last week. What I can help you this week is A4, I'm pretty sure that they didn't run out, but they're expensive. You can get A2 sheet divided into 4 A4s with the same technique that I showed you last week. We're going to have few assignments on small sheets, or if one person has A2 size sheet, you can divide it into 4 and share with others. Sell it for a quarter. Students have paper and we are not wasting money, okay? Okay, so now in red, I'm going to show you how I would start that sheet. We have a title. So somewhere here, I would put maybe 1/4 of an inch, 2 lines, guidelines for my title. In the middle, construction notes. Then I would look at what we are going to be doing here. And if I start with margin, don't ask me what this dimension is. It's part of your layout. Let's say 1/2 inch on all the way around, both sides. This is where we want to start and finish our printing. But if you look at the content, there are construction notes that have certain structure. There is a number, point 1, 2, 3, 4. Point 1 has a dot, and then the text starts. So what I would actually suggest, and I did show you this on the handout, is I would actually have the start and the number and the dot. So this is where I'm going to start the number, this is where I'm going to always have the dot, and this is where I'm going to start the text. That's part of your layout. So now, the next objective is to repeat this pattern as we discussed here, through the whole page, all the way down to about here. The most common mistake that students make is they don't get this part. And what they end up doing is drawing these lines, this pattern, from edge to edge of the sheet. And then the sheet lacks the margin. It's messy. Your measure marks are showing. So if you're not going to use lettering guide, if you're going to measure every single one, you're going to have all these blips. If you don't lay out your margins, if you don't do these pre-thinking, then your sheet is not going to be nicely composed. And a reminder from last instruction that layout is very, very important, how your final product is going to look like. So then you take your lettering guide, you set it against your T-squared. So I'm going to, this is again for right-handed people. Left-handed people will go opposite. And it's a little bit more difficult for left-handed people, I admit, but it can be done. And we're going to draw the pattern. Let's use blue for this. Setting our lettering guide like so. And get the pattern going. So we get the first 3 millimeters, space in between. Second 3 millimeters, space in between. And you actually want to go, you want to go all the way to the first margin line. Space in between, 3 millimeters, space in between, 3 millimeters. That's it. That's all I want you to accomplish today. We have an hour and 10 minutes. You should be able to do this. And that's it. Then if you finish the perimeter project and you have this pattern on a sheet, then you're in great shape. And then when we come back after the break, we will learn and I'll instruct you how to do masterful letters and numbers. Okay? So let's do this next.